Alright, like most people today, I woke up, turned on the TV, started watching things about people getting shot close to the nation's capital, people getting shot in San Francisco. And while I don't want to get off on a political rant, we all know what the real cause of that, and it has nothing to do with gun control. Anyways, the part that grabbed my attention out in Virginia was a little sound bite about people using makeshift tourniquets on folks. Saw some discussion online about what tourniquets some people carry, and other people saying, well, that one's too big, or I can't reasonably do this or that or the other. So I thought, let's take a look at what's laying around the garage right now, and talk about some of the different ones. Obviously not a complete representation on the table of what's out there. A couple things commercially produced, a couple things as improvised. So we'll kind of go through them a little bit. As far as the commercially produced stuff out here, my first one is going to be this TK4. The TK4 has been around forever. Basically, an elastic band with two hooks. Idea being you can still self-apply this one-handed to your own arm, get one of the hooks around, hook it on the band, and then pull tight. Downside of this one, it's elastic, but under compression it still holds a width. Remembering that width is really a lot of what we're talking about when we're looking at tourniquets, and why some of them that may be super popular out there just really aren't holding up if because of just how thin they are. So while this is an elastic or bungee-like material, it still holds its width. So as a backup or a real super inexpensive tourniquet, packs up super small. You can throw it in a pocket and no one really is thinking you're some kind of weirdo walking down the street with a bunch of medical gear on you. So it's on the list. Next up for commercially produced is the SWAT T. I'm not really huge on the SWAT T, but I know it's very popular because of price, and in the packaging it ends up being a pretty small thing. I see the downside of it as it's one-handed application. Lower extremities is fine. I can get it on using both hands, basically make some things change shape, and we supposedly have enough compression. Downside is we got to tuck it into itself to get it to hold, and then the other downside is under stress, even using both my hands on my own leg, how much is this rubber going to roll up and get too thin? On the upper extremity, the one-handed application, the best technique I've actually seen for people doing this stuff is they throw it one tail in their mouth, throw the other around, and then start wrapping around their arm. Totally balls up on them every single time, whether stress-free in demos or added stress and time, or people shooting around out on the range. I don't have a soft tee out here. I don't have anything exactly against the soft tee. I'm just much more partial to the cat. The soft tee is totally a fine way to go. A little bulkier, metal, a little heavier. And it wasn't as just straight up intuitive as the cat was to me when our county started rolling them out for the pre-hospital based providers. So the cat T, honestly, the true gold standard right now, as I think, as far as tourniquets go. We've all heard the internet rumors of the windlass snapping on some of them. The Gen 7s seem to be vastly improved and strengthened as far as reinforcing the buckle and the windlass. And it sounds like a lot of those ones that broke weren't really cats. They were just Chinese knockoffs and people buying medical shit from airsoft stores. So as far as improvised goes, I was like, all right, what do I got laying right here? Obviously saw a belt. I think, most of our gun belts that so many of us wear every day, even when not really carrying, work to an extent. However, the reinforcement of the Kydex, or the double layer stitching, whatever inserts they put in there, can kind of get in the way on the smaller limbs getting that tight blood shut off going. The other part is how you're always going to keep it going is just that simple buckle really going to work when you need it to. The last one that I saw, and this one's really for Bob, is that basically if you can't solve something with a, what does he call them? He calls these things cravats. The rest of the world calls them triangular bandages. Then you're just not looking for the right problem to solve. A cravat and, you know, your handy dandy knife as your own windlass works good, just as long as you fold it up and wrap it around there with enough width as TCCC recommends. You're going to get enough coverage, and if you go tight enough, you're going to get the flow shut off. Last thing that I kind of saw in my garage, when I was doing a class for some local law enforcement, I picked up a couple different brands of kind of ankle carriers for medical gear. Biggest thing, guys saying, hey, look, I already got enough stuff on my bat belt. I really can't carry much else. So this is the one from, I believe I got it from Rescue Essentials. Carrying both the cat, a hyphen chest seal, decompression needle, some regular quick clot combat gauze, and then I think I just threw a regular roll of gauze in there as well. So really everything I need in there minus the MPA as far as kind of those main components of a true trauma kit for violent force trauma, all wrapped up into an ankle carrier. I have worn it. People that know me know I have total like cankles, so it still works under my pants around my big ankles. So it's always an option. The rest of the things, you know, I get that people have space problems, but there's really no excuse that you can't find something to have on your person or in your backpack or in your briefcase every day, as these events seem to start occurring more and more.